Man, what'd y'all think? Y'all thought I was gonna let you down. Alright, I've been playing NBA Playgrounds. For those asking, it's not out yet, should be out in a few days. And you know me, I've been playing competitive gaming like on the amateur level for centuries. I'm 21 years old, more than like 7 years or some shit. Like I'm pretty good when it comes to breaking games, like finding some shit that is just over fucking powered. But with this game, it came pretty easy and it didn't really take that much time. So 4 hours into the game, I'm playing against my boy Legend of Winning, and we find an exploit of all exploits. Now, keep in mind, we're playing on the PC version. I'm sure it's gonna be similar with the Xbox and the PS4 version, and I'm sure like they're not gonna come out with a day one patch. Like, I don't think the dev team is big enough where they're gonna be patching shit all the time like they do on 2K. So like they might, you know, make some changes here or there, but hey, for now, this shit works. Now, if you're wondering, Agent, I'm thinking about picking up the game. If I do, how do I dominate folks? Well, one, you can do alley-oops. That shit is damn near automatic if you get your alley-oop release on point. Or you could do what Agent figured out, man. You could drop 40, 50 a game with your three-point shooter, because the biggest cheese in the NBA Playgrounds is corner threes. Now, you can shoot at the top of the three-point line and you might shoot like 30%. You know, it's tough to release on this game, but you can hit the corner and it is 100%, and it is so unblockable. It'd literally take your opponent coming out with the person who has a max block rating to even have a 20% chance of blocking your shot. And if you're slick with the way you're releasing the ball, there's no way you miss. So I've been playing with Legend of Winning, and yo, you seen it on the last video. If you missed it, I'm gonna link in the description and leave a card, because it's intense when we play. No one's trying to lose. Legend is always throwing the oops, and so I needed some, you know, some cheese to counter him, and what I found was the corner three. Now, the player I use for it is Jason Kidd. In my opinion, he just has a really clean form, and I haven't played the single player, so I don't have none of the insane players like Iverson or Stephen Curry or James Harden. Like, I don't have anybody really crazy from 3-point. And so I've just been using Jason Kidd. He has a 7 3-pointer out of 10, solid. But really, you can pull this off with someone that has a 4 or a 3. I'm telling you how automatic it is. Now, you don't want it to be a moving shot. Moving shots, that shit is, you'll break almost all the time on moving shots. A standing shot, make sure you don't get stripped because it's easy to get stolen. Do a crossover into the corner, chill for a second, make sure it's a standing shot, pull up for your standing shot. When I'm telling you that you can do this all game and win every single game you play, I am not exaggerating. The only bad thing about this strategy that I'm using, and I use pretty much every game at this point, is usually when you're doing dunks, you get more meter, and when you get meters, you get power-ups. And then if your opponent is doing all these alley-oops and getting meter, and then now you're shooting threes, you're not getting as much, you're not going to get as much power-ups, and you can be at a disadvantage. That being said, as long as you're hitting, like, you can hit pretty much 100% on games, shoot 15 for 15 from 3, and you can be lights out. You know, you basically don't need any rebounders. You can have 2 shooters with you, get Stephen Curry and Del Curry in that bitch, and you can just automatic in the corner shoot. In my opinion, I prefer to have at least one person who can block really well, especially against people who love to go for oops. It's just the way that I like to play. But I recommend Jason Kidd because he's not a really difficult player to get. He's not amazing neither, but you don't need amazing to pull off the strategy. Will it be patched soon? I don't know, probably. I imagine steals are going to be nerfed soon. I imagine corner threes are going to be nerfed soon. I imagine that layups and dunks are going to get a buff soon because it's so challenging to hit those. There's a lot of things I can see changing, but like, I know for a game that's arcade, I shouldn't be taking it this seriously. But I'm sorry, I don't like to lose, man. So when I'm playing, like, I'm not losing that game. And so that's what I do. And at some point, I'm like, oh, this is pretty easy. And then Legend of Winning started to hit me back with the same cheese. And we were like, how many points can we get if we just did this all game? So here's the strategy. I'm sure it translates over to the consoles. The corner 3 is unbelievable. And switch it up every once in a while, man. Pretend like you're gonna shoot, stand for a second, it'll get your opponent to jump, especially if you hit the corner 3 a few times previously, and then slide here, and he's gonna jump again, then slide back to the corner, pull up. You can even do it on the wing pretty well, but once you get closer to the middle of the 3-point line is when the percentage starts to drop. So you wanna try and stay close to the corner. If you can't hit the corner, you can also hit the corner wing, and that's gonna work for you as well. I'm just thinking, like, imagine I had Curry and I was doing that. You basically wouldn't lose. it wouldn't happen. The only counter to this is you can get a guy with a 10 block rating, but a lot of the times, even when they jump up for a block, it pushes them back, and it's almost impossible to block this. But weirdly enough, I found that guards, when Legend of Winning was playing against me with Kyle Lowry, he was doing a pretty good job of blocking it compared to Gobert or Nerlens Noel or some of the guys you consider pretty good shot blockers. So maybe the anti-corner 3 cheese is running up with the guard that has good defense, because in my experience, Jason Kidd gets more blocks in some games than Gobert does. I don't know how it works out. Like, Kawhi is a pretty good blocker, but sometimes Gobert would only get one a whole game. I'm like, how does this work? So I mean, logically, there's some things you see in the game and it doesn't necessarily make sense, but you just kind of have to roll with it because it's not a sim game, and you're like, nah, it's not a sim game. But I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like. Let's try and get this video to 7K likes. Subscribe if you guys are new. The Raptors are playing game 4. Kyle Lowry is out, and I am distraught. Okay, I'm gonna watch the game anyway, of course. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Game starting in 10 minutes. I'm out. Peace.